feel like there's just a lot of confusion about certain things in the world that I feel like I've come to some clarity on.
Clarity. All right. I am looking forward to it.
And that is why we have started this little show called Gem Droppin'. Jam Droppin'.
Gem droppin'. Yeah, that doesn't sound pretentious at all. But please, give us some clarity.
Jam droppin', jam droppin'. I'm dropping on these hoes. Now that's the one.
Right. Okay. I am ready. Drop a gem on me.
White privilege, personal struggle. Personal struggle are issues you go through yourself in your personal life. White privilege is that you're not dealing with issues created simply because you're not white.
Whoa, wait a second. Personal struggles are issues you go through yourself in your personal life. Okay, fair enough. But white privilege is that you're not dealing with issues created simply because you're not white. That's some awkward phrasing there, double negative and all. I think she means you're not having to deal with issues that only affect non-white people. I think. But, okay, what issues only affect non-white people?
White privilege. So the big argument that white people have with the term white privilege is the fact that you still have to deal with your own personal struggles.
Well, yes. Being white is not a panacea for the pitfalls in life. There are poor white people, sick white people, abused white people. White people are just as susceptible to hardships, self-chosen or otherwise, despite their skin color. So, what's the privilege of being white, then?
A lot of white people hear the term white privilege and they say, white privilege? Like, what even is that? Like, nothing was handed to me, okay? Like, I've had to work my butt off, okay? Like, I had to do what I had to do in school. Like, I had to read the books. I mean, shit, I had to work at the freaking Gap, okay? And when I got in trouble for stealing from Garden Botanica, like, I didn't get a slap on the wrist. I had to do community freaking service, okay? And yeah, sure. Now I'm the manager at a hedge fund, but like whatever. That's not because I'm white. That's just because I work freaking hard, okay? And that's why I get to go to Coachella. Lindsay! Oh my God. Lindsay!
Uh-huh. Well, our speaker is Amanda Seales, who, since the age of 12, has been involved in show business. She was on a Nickelodeon show. She was an MTV VJ. She's had TV roles on HBO, and currently, she even has her own television show. Now, I've never been on TV. I've never been paid to have a television show. But I wouldn't chalk her success up to black privilege. She made different choices and had different opportunities in her life than I did. But I suppose where I'm at, not being on television and not having a salary commensurate to such things, I suppose it's my white privilege that has indemnified me from the real hardships, unlike our speaker.
Now let me get down to the bare bones. White privilege has been here since America has been here. History lesson. In the Constitution, America's Constitution literally says that all this dope shit that we wrote about rights, about owning land, about having guns, about equality is only applicable to landowning white men. You hear that? Landowning white men.
Is that still the case? Is that still the law? How long has it been since such laws were upheld and enforced? How is it that you are allowed to vote the same as I am? Do the realities of the obsolete past provide anyone a benefit in the present? If so, why don't I have my own TV show?
So when we talk about white privilege, we talk about the fact that we are in a country that was literally built on the premise that you can only have the good shit if you're white.
You're not white. You have a TV show. I am white. I don't have a TV show.
Now I'm aware that we are on YouTube, so the trolls are busy at work right now. Hi trolls! Woo, there's all sorts of N-words happening right below me, aren't there? I see you. Hi N-words.
Well, I am glad to see you have such a positive and encouraging attitude towards criticism of your views and opinions. But I'm not the sort to make use of personal or racial insults. Does that still make me a troll?
Yeah, that's also white privilege. The fact that you have a word to call me that is supposed to demean me and degrade me based on simply the color of my skin.
It's funny that you should say that, given that the term white privilege is dependent on skin color, and you have used it to devalue both the hardships and successes of people based on the color of their skin. White people might have issues, but they're not as bad as they could be. White people might have accomplishments, but they didn't really earn them on merit. But none of that is degrading someone on the basis of their skin color, is it?
Jim Crow.
Jim Crow laws were nullified in 1954 after the Brown versus Board of Education decision.
Slavery.
Slavery ended with the adoption of the 13th Amendment in 1865.
Institutionalized prison industrial complex.
The institutionalized prison industrial complex is a mechanism of white privilege. Yes, no white people are ever sent to prison, and every month, no matter who you are, so long as you have white skin, you receive a check with your royalties from those prisons that are for profit. Got it.
Yeah, see, all of those things, when they add up to white privilege.
Well, two of those things are no longer applicable to our laws and society. And the third one, well, it's all but a non sequitur. So I remain curious to know how obsolete laws and practices provide a benefit to people who just don't look like you.
Personal struggle is also real. Everybody goes through shit, y'all. Everybody, no matter what race, nation, or creed, everybody goes through shit. The difference is that black people in this country, people who are not white in this country, have a whole other set of shit that they go through simply because they're not white.
Well, maybe it's just me, but I've been getting a lot of shit the last couple of years from people telling me that I have no right to complain about anything because I am white. That both my struggles and my successes are actually less significant because of my skin color. I wonder if that's a problem our speaker has to deal with, being devalued because she's white. No? Well then, I guess I have a whole separate set of problems to deal with than she does. Ah, equality.
But here's the thing. Own your white privilege. Own it. It was created from a place of evil, and you have the power to turn it into a place of positivity.
How? I am white. I cannot change my skin color. And you're telling me that white privilege is endemic to our entire history and society. I couldn't get rid of it if I tried. It is my original sin. Isn't it?
White privilege is the fact that white people joined the civil rights movement because they knew that if they were there getting hurt, then the press would come and they would see these are people being harmed, and they know that white lives matter, so they know that if they're there with these black people and they're fighting, people will care and maybe they will change their minds. That is using your white privilege for good.
That's why white people joined the civil rights movement, because they knew they would get attention and not be harmed, because their skin color protected them. Tell me, were any white civil rights activists ever subjected to violence or social ridicule? Were any white activists ever murdered for their involvement in the civil rights movement? Because if they ever were, then what are you talking about?
White privilege is knowing that you can hire undocumented workers and give them a chance to give their families a future in this country, and that you really ain't gonna get in that much trouble for it. That is using your white privilege for good.
Using my white privilege for good is to knowingly break federal law in order to employ people who are also breaking federal law. Got it.
Using your white privilege for good is knowing that your TV show is going to get picked up faster than another black person's TV show. And when you have that TV show, you're going to put black people in that show and you're going to hire black writers to have authentic voices. That is using your white privilege.
Using my white privilege for good means hiring people for my TV show on the basis of their being black, and hiring black writers because their voices are authentic. Are the voices of non-black writers not authentic? You wouldn't be denigrating people on the basis of their skin color again, would you? Also, I don't have a TV show. You have a TV show, though. Are you hiring people for your TV show, first and foremost, on the basis of their skin color? I certainly hope not, because there's a whole lot of people that fought to end employment discrimination based on race. You know, the civil rights movement.
When you act like white privilege doesn't exist, what you do is you actually take your power and you sell it and you give it away. White privilege is real, and using it for a good point is real. And that's the difference between white privilege and personal struggle.
Right. Well, golly, I do certainly feel enriched having had those gems dropped on me. But now, I just need to find a way to sell my white privilege. Apparently that's a thing you can do. Because then, maybe I'll be as wealthy as Amanda Seales. Because that's how the world works. As always, thank you for watching.